नाज़रीन अस्सलाम वालेकुम, आप देख रहे हैं प्रोग्राम पर्सपेक्टिव नुक्ता-ए-नज़र ओवैस इकबाल के साथ जियो टीवी पे। नाज़रीन, हमारा रवैया और तर्ज़ अमल दोनों जन्म लेते हैं हमारे एहसासात और जज्बात से, जो वजूद पाते हैं हमारी सोच और नुक्ता-ए-नज़र से। नाज़रीन, हर मामले में मुस्बत सोच रखना और नुक्ता फ़हम होना बनता है बाइस इंसानों और माशरों के दरमियान अच्छे बाहमी ताल्लुकात का और बर्दाश्त का। नाज़रीन, ये वो जुमले हैं, अगर आपने इस शो का प्रोमो देखा हो तो ये वो जुमले हैं जो हमने इस प्रोमो पे कहे हैं कि मेरा और आपका जो रवैया और तर्ज़ अमल है नाज़रीन, वो किस तरह से डेवलप पाता है। और आज इस माशरे में जहाँ पे हर कोई हेल्दी लाइफ जीने के लिए परेशान है, लेकिन उसको जीने के लिए पेन और स्ट्रेस से कैसे छुटकारा हासिल किया जाए और उसका रूट कॉज क्या है। नाज़रीन, कहाँ से इस सिलसिले का आगाज़ होता है कि जो हम अपने घर में पेन लेके आते हैं, अपने साथ स्ट्रेस को लेके आते हैं और वहीं से हमारी ज़िंदगी जो है वो एक दूसरी डायरेक्शन में चलना शुरू हो जाती है। नाज़रीन, आज इस पे बात करने के लिए हमने दावत दी है शिराज खान साहब को, जो प्रोफेशनल कोच हैं, मेंटर भी हैं और ट्रेनर भी हैं। शिराज साहब, अस्सलाम वालेकुम एंड वेलकम टू द शो।
वालेकुम अस्सलाम।
So Shiraz sahab, why not you tell us a bit more about yourself?
I've been, alhamdulillah, coaching for about a good 8 years, I think, before COVID, alhamdulillah. A lot of stuff, even I was in my training and doing a lot of the workshops and helped, mashallah, many people deal with stress and help them remove some bad habits that they had, right? Because a lot of people come to me looking for goals. When I say sometimes you can't reach your goals because you have some bad habits that stop you from reaching the goals.
Right.
Because, you know, seeing change and seeing people grow from where they are and giving them that step-by-step process, alhamdulillah, you know, it works out extremely well. And obviously, I'm holding them accountable.
Very good. So as I said in my intro, you know, how we think and how we keep the viewpoints, right?
Yeah.
That helps us generate our emotions. और वो जो एहसास है, जज्बात हैं, उनसे फिर हमारा बिहेवियर और लाइन ऑफ एक्शन डिटरमिन होता है, राइट? सो लुकिंग इनटू दिस, द क्वेश्चन आई वुड आस्क यू इज कि हमारा रूट कॉज क्या है पेन का और स्ट्रेस का?
रूट कॉज हमारा पेन का, it's layered. It's many things layered. You know, obviously there is physical pain, right?
ठीक है.
Right, if I fell down the stairs hypothetically, right?
Right.
You know, depending on how many stairs is one impact, so how much physical pain. Number two was somebody watching me.
ठीक है.
वो क्यों फायदा होता है? Because then I feel, oh my God, I did something wrong, or I'm an idiot, or somebody laughed. अब एक दूसरा emotional pain है. तो
ठीक है.
सर्जरी हो गई है, टांग ठीक हो गई है, मगर अभी भी दर्द हो रही है.
हाँ.
जब भी मैं, you know, stairs पे जाता हूँ,
पेन फील करता हूँ.
Mental है, you know, अभी हो सकती है, but it's like a trigger.
ठीक है.
Right. So that's usually the root cause, because our body and mind, our job is to protect you, right?
So basically अभी कह रहे हैं कि अगर हम दो एस्पेक्ट में इसको देखेंगे, there are things that we can control and there are things that we cannot control. जैसे आपने कहा कि कोई सीढ़ियों से गिर गया, तो उसकी फ्रैक्चर हो गया या कुछ हो गया, you couldn't control that. ये हो गया. ठीक है, लेकिन वो चीज़ें जो आपके कंट्रोल में हैं, जैसे जब आपकी रिकवरी हो गई है, रिकवरी के दौरान जो आपकी विल पावर है, दैट इज इन योर कंट्रोल.
100%.
ओके, सो दैट्स व्हाट यू आर रेफरिंग टू.
Yes, right. And to remove the negative emotion, because you made a mistake. Sometimes they feel disabled, right? In that process of healing, if they feel that they can't heal, the recovery takes longer, right? So even motivating them that you are going to heal, you know, focus on the healing, focus on moving. A lot of people have recovered just by that focus that they've had.
So हम अक्सर देखते हैं बाज़ औक़ात अपने फ्रेंड्स में, you might have also observed and noticed it, कि slowly over time you see their behavior starting to change. They are less attentive, they are not showing up anymore, right? And there you can see that they are going into some sort of depression. And when you go talk to them, they don't open up with you, और उनका जो है वो सारा एक सिस्टम चेंज होना शुरू हो जाता है. How do you handle that? They may not be realizing it, what's happening to them.
It's very difficult because they feel they're very alone, right? They're very alone, and it's almost like self-conscious and subconscious. You know, self-conscious, they're very self-conscious of this is happening to me, and subconscious, they don't even know it's happening to them, because you know, I would say they're stuck in a program or a habit, and sometimes, usually, is to break a habit, is to break the pattern, is do something completely different.
What would be some of the warning signs one should start realizing that something is changing in me, good or bad?
First is sleep.
Meaning more sleep or less sleep?
Quality of sleep.
Okay.
So the quality of sleep, meaning if you're not dreaming, dreaming is connected to going very deep in your sleep. If you're waking up with pain and just feeling no energy, even though if you slept 8 hours, you slept 8-9 hours, right? If you slept 4, it's okay, but if you've slept 8-9 hours,
should be very good.
But if you're waking up because you had to go to the washroom, and obviously these are things that diagnose to leads up. And
okay, so sleep would be one.
Number one.
Number two?
Your thought process throughout the day.
Right.
So what are you thinking about during the day? Right? You have about 70 or 60,000 thoughts that happen. Are the thoughts coded with positive energy, negative?
So 70 to 80,000 thoughts a day.
A day.
That's what human goes through?
Generally speaking, yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And how many of them we pay attention to?
45% of them are unconscious, because certain patterns, how you put on your clothes, brush your teeth. If you had to think about that stuff,
that would be counted.
We wouldn't make it here.
It's just natural.
It's automatic.
But it's part of the thinking process.
It's part of the thinking because it's already coded in there. We pick up energy. Where we are just energy, right? So if you're around negativity,
if you have friends around you, those who are not most positive, or the environment around you is not positive, so you can easily find yourself leaning towards more negative thinking, right?
It's going to be bouncing off.
Bouncing off. So basically sleep is one, and when the thoughts are coming to you, how you're taking them. What about your eating pattern or meeting pattern?
Eating patterns, when you stress, your body wants to eat more.
So if you're eating more, or abruptly, or maybe eating on a wrong cycle, could be one of the realization, right? Warning sign?
Yeah, because if you're going for snacks when you shouldn't, that usually means you either got angry, got upset, got stressed, got financial stress, work stress. Your body needs energy. Even though you didn't do any workout, that energy pulsations, you know, I had a client that said, I'm getting pulsations. That means your body's working somewhere. She's not moving, but she goes, I'm getting pulsations. So inside her heart, she thinks something's going to happen. So now after that, she usually is probably going to eat something because the body is in stress.
तो अब ऐसे है कि ये तो सारी बातें feels to me bit more इसको कैसे कहेंगे कि टेक्निकल लग रहा है मुझे ना ये कि जो लोग हमें देख रहे हैं, सुन रहे हैं, they are laymen, they are easy ordinary people, right? So putting it for them, कि जो हम warning signs उनको बता रहे हैं, so it can tell them कि something is change happening. उसमें भी दो किस्म के लोग हैं. एक वो हैं those who are good talkers, meaning they talk to their husband, wife, friends, brothers, sisters, and they express their feelings. And some, those who keep everything to their chest.
Yes.
So what's the difference between these two approaches?
The only one to help the people who hold it in the chest, they have to feel safe enough to share what they're saying and not feel bad about it.
Right.
And sometimes therapy usually keeps repeating the stories that make you feel bad. And usually there's no positive. But when someone comes in towards me, my direction is, where would you like to be in the next 3 to 4 months? And that question starts to make them think. And sometimes they don't even know because they've been so stuck in the negative. So I tell people, first way is to ask, where do you want to be?
Right.
Not talk about where you are. To change the thinking patterns like you're asking, right? So it's to where do you want to be and how would that make you feel once you got there?
Right. So basically जो पहला क्वेश्चन मेरा था आपसे कि रूट कॉज पेन का, स्ट्रेस का, और हम बात कर रहे हैं कंट्रोलेबल पेन, कंट्रोलेबल स्ट्रेस की, नॉट समथिंग व्हिच इज अराइजिंग फ्रॉम एन एक्सीडेंट और समथिंग. सो दैट इज लीडिंग टुवर्ड्स हाउ यू थिंक, और आपके जो पर्सपेक्टिव है, व्यू पॉइंट है, वहाँ से सारी चीज़ का आगाज़ होता है.
100%.
राइट. वेरी गुड. तो उसमें जो है वो, अगर आपके सराउंडिंग में वो लोग मौजूद नहीं हैं कि जो आपको पॉज करें या आपको राइट एडवाइस दें या पॉजिटिविटी क्रिएट करें, तो देन इट्स क्वाइट डेंजरस थिंग.
It's very dangerous. It's very dangerous because even outside of people, it's what you absorb on your phone, right? Right now the images are very deep.
Yeah.
Very deep, right? I would suggest, you know, even right now, because the news is so vivid, is to have your phone black and white filter. By having even a black and white filter on your phone, the images that you're seeing, if it's even, yes, they're deep, but if they're desensitized, it also would help you kind of...
So black and white filter, that's something new to me. So you're saying, if I have a black and white filter on my phone, What change would it make?
You tell me watching a black and white movie.
So basically the images, the news is whatever you're reading
will be like a barrier. And that's just actually, if you could look it up, someone showed it to me. There's a study that the kids, as soon as we turned the iPads to black and white, they didn't want to play with it.
Wow, what a strategy.
Then they got smart to look it up, how to change it back to color, and they got back to color. But it's just a visual thing, right?
So that helps. Anything else?
The first thing I train my clients is physiology affects psychology. So how you're breathing, how your body's positioned, and where is your focus really? It's, if I say I'm depressed or I'm sad, I'm acting it, or my body's acting it, right? If I am excited and happy and so looking forward, you can immediately say the changes, right? So it's to be really focused on inside what you really want.
बिल्कुल ठीक, थैंक यू सो मच शिराज साहब। नाज़रीन, यहाँ पे हम ब्रेक लेंगे। ब्रेक के बाद जब वापस आएंगे तो इस गुफ्तगू को आगे लेके चलेंगे। हमने कोशिश की कि जो पहला जो सेगमेंट है इस पे बात करें कि मेरे और आपके ऊपर जब स्ट्रेस होता है, पेन होता है, ख़ास तौर पे वो मामलात कि जिनको मैं और आप कंट्रोल कर सकते हैं, तो उसका रूट कॉज क्या है? वो हमारी जो सोच जो बन रही होती है वो क्यों ऐसे बन रही होती है कि जिससे मेरा और आपका तर्ज अमल जो है वो चेंज होता चला जाता है। नाजरीन, ये बड़ा इंपॉर्टेंट है कि मैं और आप आज के इस परेशानी के दौर में, जहाँ पे बहुत सारा फाइनेंशियल स्ट्रेस है, जहाँ पे हमें फैमिली का स्ट्रेस है, कुछ लोग जो है वो डिवोर्स से गुजर रहे हैं, कुछ के बच्चों की शादियाँ ठीक नहीं हो रही हैं, या और घर में मसाइल हैं बीमारियों से रिलेटेड, नाजरीन इस पर हमें तवज्जो देने की ज़रूरत है। छोटी छोटी सी टिप्स हैं, ट्रिक्स हैं, अगर हम इनको अपना लेंगे तो मुमकिन तौर पर हम बहुत सारा पेन अपने कंधे से उतार देंगे और अच्छी सेहतमंद ज़िंदगी जीना शुरू कर देंगे। नाज़रीन, ब्रेक के बाद भी हमारे साथ रहिएगा। नाज़रीन, वेलकम बैक, बहुत शुक्रिया, ब्रेक के बाद भी आप हमारे साथ रहे। आज हम बात कर रहे हैं नाज़रीन, हमारे अतराफ़ में और आपके अतराफ़ में आप देखते हैं हमारे अपने घरों में परेशानियाँ, मुश्किलात और कंधों पे बोझ मौजूद है। नाज़रीन, ज़माना कोई भी हो, इंसान हमेशा जो है वो आजमाया गया है। सिर्फ ये देखना है कि मेरे और आपके कंट्रोल में क्या है, किस तरह से हम अपने कंधे पे बोझ को, स्ट्रेस को, पेन को किसी तरह बीमारी की तरफ जाने ना दें और अपने आप को उस मुश्किल से बाहर निकाल के हेल्दी लाइफ जीने की कोशिश करें। नाज़रीन, शिराज साहब, ब्रेक पे जाने से पहले वी वर टॉकिंग अबाउट रूट कॉजेज एंड वी आइडेंटिफाइड सम ऑफ द वार्निंग साइंस एज वेल। नाउ लेट्स टेक फ्यू एग्जांपल्स। हम अपनी पाकिस्तानी उर्दू स्पीकिंग कम्युनिटी को लेते हैं कि हमारे यहाँ पे मैन ओरिएंटेड सोसाइटी है और ज़्यादातर जो है वो मर्द ही घर का अर्नर होता है, और उसमें से भी बहुत सारे घर ऐसे हैं कि जहाँ पे हम अपनी ख़वातीन से यानी अपनी वाइफ से डिस्कशन भी नहीं करते कि आपके फाइनेंशियल मैटर्स क्या हैं, वो सारे क्या हैं, और स्ट्रेस अपने तौर पर ही लिए जा रहे होते हैं। हाउ प्रैक्टिकल इज दिस एंड व्हाई शैल वी नॉट एम्पावर आवर किड्स एंड वुमेन to be part of all the decision making on the table?
I think that's very big, because alhamdulillah the past it would have been okay, but because the price, the cost, everybody's financially has to be working, and not letting out the stress. You can do it. We're very strong human beings. We lived on this earth for a very long time, so you can keep pushing, but eventually then this is where all that body takes a strain. And I find that if you communicate, not only are you teaching everybody how to handle themselves as it should be, it gives someone else the responsibility to make a mistake and learn, right? So I think, and when practically when we coach clients, is to say, okay, this is where your goals are. How do you get to that? You can't do it alone. You have to have people around you to be intradependent, not necessarily dependent.
बिल्कुल ठीक है। नहीं, आप ये कह रहे हैं कि जो भी आपके साथ कंपेनियंस हैं, अगर आपके बिजनेस पार्टनर्स हैं या फैमिली पार्टनर्स हैं, तो जस्ट डोंट कीप ऑल द थिंग्स टू योरसेल्फ, राइट? डिस्कशन, टॉक, बाउंसिंग द आइडियाज, एंड व्हेन यू रन इनटू चैलेंजेस दे आर देयर टू स्प्लिट द बर्डन फ्रॉम यू, राइट? लेकिन अगर लीडर ही जो है वो स्ट्रेस में है और लीडर ही डरपोक है और लीडर ही जो है वो खौफ में, पूरी फैमिली को ले डूबेगा वो।
And the biggest fear is, sadly, is judgment. If the judgment wasn't there, if whatever I say would be considered bad, if that's removed, communication would be a lot easier.
ये बताएं कि जो power of words है, लफ्ज़ों की जो ताकत है, मिसाल के तौर पर मैं एक फिल्म देख रहा था, उस फिल्म में एक डायलॉग था। वो डायलॉग ये था कि ज़िंदगी में कोई भी काम आप पहली मर्तबा करते हैं वो एक ही मर्तबा होता है। So let's say you are here, let's say on a TV show as a guest.
Yes.
Maybe you might be nervous, but this may be your first time. Second time won't be the first time.
No.
तो हम उस fear से कैसे बाहर निकलें?
Very good question. We do have training for that. We're all talking about thoughts and feelings.
Yes.
ठीक है? So you could imagine how it would be if the interview went well, right? And if you focus there just for a few moments on the feeling,
right,
after you have done it, just for a moment, because what happens is when you put feeling to it, हमारा दिमाग को पता नहीं अगर हो गया कि नहीं होया.
ठीक है.
So it has an imprint. So when you kind of now think about the event, automatically you now have, hey, it might be okay. We still don't know. There's still a little bit of excitement and hey, I don't know what's going to happen. But at least the fear of it going bad has been almost cancelled with your impression that, yeah, I might not win the lottery, but I might as well try it.
Might as well try.
You know, in that context.
That's very good, very good. अच्छा, एक और बात हम देखते हैं कि जो स्ट्रेस की बात हो रही है, पेन की बात हो रही है, वो कंट्रोलेबल एस्पेक्ट की बात हो रही है. What we find, and I say this to my friends oftentimes, is कि जब आप कोई चीज़ अपनी आंखों से भी देख लें और कानों से भी सुन लें, तब भी do not believe it until you have that context.
Correct.
Right? So sometimes होता ये है कि मिसाल है, मेरे दोस्तों ने एक तस्वीर लगाई, सोशल मीडिया का दौर है, इंस्टा पे, फेसबुक पे तस्वीर लगाई कि 4 दोस्त बैठ के जो है वो खाना खा रहे हैं और एंजॉय कर रहे हैं. And I felt कि I supposed to be the 5th one in that circle. And I'm not there. They must have ignored me. मुझे उन्होंने invite नहीं किया. And I start thinking because what I saw. मैं कल कहूँगा मैंने अपनी आंखों से देखा था. But I never asked. Once I asked, I found out that it was random that they all showed up at one place, or 3 were there, 4th came up.
Wow.
Versus anybody ignored me. So do you think that 25% of our challenges can go away if we stop assuming?
I think most of them could go away.
Most.
Because what you perceive to be real and what is real are 2 different things. So you have to ask yourself, what you're perceiving to be real, is it a 100% real?
Right.
And there can't be 100% real, because what you're getting is only one perspective.
One perspective, it's not the whole truth.
Yeah, and it's coming only from your eyes. It's not coming from anywhere else.
बिल्कुल ठीक. और दूसरा हम ये देखते हैं कि हम इस चीज़ पे तवज्जो देते हैं कि what is the news. We do not pay attention who's bringing the news. So if Shiraz is a credible individual, and if you say something, then I should believe what you're saying. But हमारे माशरे में क्या है कि हम खबर पे तवज्जो देते हैं, इस पे नहीं दे कौन रहा है. What do you have to say about that?
In training clients to be strong in their careers and successful in their investments, I tell them, first thing, make sure whatever question you ask, they're the expert in that field.
Very good. Very good.
Right? And even and let's say you brought me some news, I would like to ask you, how did you know?
Right.
And as soon as you ask, how do you know, it came from a source. So you must have known from somebody.
Right.
Oh, I looked it up on Google. Okay. Right. So as soon as you ask, how do you know, that really changes the question. That, okay, how did you hear it? Did you hear from somebody else? Is that source? So because you want to find the validity of what it is, and it's always good to check.
बिल्कुल ठीक. तो यानी आप ये बात करें कि अगर हम इसको आज के ज़माने के कॉन्टेक्स्ट में रखें, तो वो लोग लेट्स से जो फाइनेंशियल क्राइसिस से गुजर रहे हैं, या उनके घरों में कोई बीमारियां हैं, या और डिफरेंट टाइप के चैलेंजेस हैं हस्बैंड वाइफ के और लोगों के, अगर जिससे उन्होंने एडवाइस लेनी है उससे नहीं ली, बिकॉज हमारा अलमिया ये है कि हम उस शख्स से मशवरा लेते हैं जो मशवरा देने का अहल नहीं होता. Meaning, if I have a financial situation, I need to go to financial advisor, but I instead call my friend who I believe very good in finances. Then I'm calling a disaster for myself. तो ये behavior कैसे change करें हम?
This is hard because it's in our culture.
Okay.
It's in our culture, like, you know, we have a lot of remedies and stuff. So it comes down to, you know, I remember my aunt. ये करोगे तो ठीक हो जाएगा.
ठीक है.
So it's a pattern of just taking on someone else's advice, and as a tradition, this is valid, right? So, and that traditional stuff that heals you stuff may be good, but it's just, I think it's a pattern. But because we have access to information on our phones, which we didn't 100 years ago, then verifying information on your own, I think, is everyone's duty.
Everyone's duty. अच्छा, ये बताएं कि चूँकि हम मुस्लिम पर्सपेक्टिव को भी सामने रखना चाहते हैं, या जो भी फेथ बेस्ड लोग हैं जो अल्लाह पे भरोसा करते हैं, तो क्या मुसलमान के लिए और ईमान वाले के लिए परेशानी फील करना बनता है?
परेशानी has to be felt.
has to be felt.
But you know, you can only mourn for 3 days. We, you know, my clients come, they're in pain, right? But
Right.
you know, I tell them how long.
How long?
You know, it's not to be rude, but it's how long do you want to do that?
Kab tak karoge?
Yeah, and it's okay to cry.
Right.
But then how long are you going to cry for after the breakup, right? Because you weren't left here to just cry.
Right.
You were meant to learn.
And move on.
And the thing is then the learning.
Right.
Until they don't learn what they need to learn, the pain continues. They have to kind of learn what they needed to learn, otherwise it's a cycle again. And that's what I tell people. To get out of the pain permanently, you have to change your habits, your thoughts, and be able to catch yourself when you're thinking I'm doing things that you shouldn't.
So between the positive thinking and negative thinking, obviously nobody would want to call themselves कि मेरी negative thinking है. Everybody feel and believe that they are very positive.
Yeah.
But somehow they move from positive to negative side of the equation. कोई warning sign उसका बताएं.
Oh, it's the words.
The words.
Just simple. I suck. I'm bad.
ठीक है.
I'm weak.
I can't do that.
I can't do that. Now, if I don't say anything after that, there's a dead silence and it's recorded, right? So words.
Yes.
I don't suck yet. Yet. I messed up yesterday. So
Correct.
I added a word.
Correct.
I said yesterday or yet. So it obviously won't solve your problem, but it's not letting you carry it over. So if you add the word yesterday or yet,
You contained.
you've contained the negativity,
Yeah.
and you've added a positive, right? So, and
Yes.
if I say, I'm bad at school, but I'm going to get better, cancels it out. But if I don't add that, and if I'm not having a support system to add that positive,
ठीक है.
then obviously, then I'm going to keep thinking that I do have that negative is true, right? So when I'm helping people kind of unprogram, going back, when did you start this conversation? It's really, oh, yeah, this happened. And this was what was said. And this is what I remember.
ठीक है.
Right? So they tried to access, and I said, could that person who, whatever negative happened, could it be that you maybe misunderstood, like you just said? And they said, maybe. See that? So you know how you just said that? Within seconds you had anger,
जी.
supposedly. And then he goes, yeah, we just met up, you know.
And then you just completely become relaxed.
Yeah. But because you thought, like you said, negative of that, you then got.
Right away.
Right away.
Right away. Last question I would ask,
Yes.
at what point somebody should think, I need help and I need to reach out to somebody like you, somebody who can, you know, have you sit down and talk for multiple sessions and bring you out of the negative territory to the positive territory back again?
Well, this is what we have to change, right? I look at it, you have many areas in your life. In these areas of your life, are you performing your best?
Okay.
You should know which areas you're
Right.
The fitness and health and school. I mean, to be real, and the question is, do you want to improve in them?
ठीक है.
Right? Because if I start off that you're broken in all of these, it's a totally different approach then.
Correct. Versus you identify where you want to
Go.
get back into the game.
Yeah, and then we find out why you're not going there, right? That's
Right.
where we have to go back and forth and, like I said, build the right patterns, right? And I tell people it takes 6 months to maybe a year to get complete change, right? Sometimes it takes short fast because you're excited for the change. But if you are not excited for the change,
We won't change.
there's no energy.
Yeah, there is no energy. बहुत शुक्रिया शिराज
Thank you
साहब,
so
थैंक यू
much.
सो मच फॉर द
You're
टाइम. अगर आपने इस प्रोग्राम को पूरा तवज्जो से सुना होगा तो आपने देखा कि कुछ वार्निंग साइंस पे भी बात हुई. हमारी ज़िंदगी में हमारे पास वक्त ही नहीं है. जिस दौड़ में मैं और आप दौड़े चले जा रहे हैं, हमारे पास पॉज लेने का टाइम ही नहीं है. पता नहीं क्यों. अगर हम पॉज लेके थोड़ा सा अपने आप को रिव्यू करें, ऑब्जर्व करें, वो लोग जो हमारे करीबी हैं, जिन पे हम भरोसा करते हैं, उनसे मशवरा लें और उनसे अपने बारे में चेक करें कि कहीं हमारे हालात, हमारा बिहेवियर तब्दील तो नहीं हो रहा, जो हमें भी महसूस नहीं हो रहा. शायद आपको सब अच्छा नज़र आ रहा हो, लेकिन जब आप पॉज लें और ब्लाइंड स्पॉट्स चेक करें तो आपको महसूस होगा कि कुछ चीज़ों में कहीं गड़बड़ नज़र आ रही है. अगर आपको पेन, स्ट्रेस है, मुश्किलात हैं, तो आपने मशवरा उनसे लेना है जो मशवरा देने के अहल हैं। अगर आपकी स्लीप साइकिल का प्रॉब्लम है, आपके खाने पीने का प्रॉब्लम है, सो दीज आर सम ऑफ द वार्निंग साइंस। मे नॉट नेसेसरीली बी रीजंस टू गो सी अ डॉक्टर, लेकिन आपको उन तमाम चीज़ों को देखना होगा कि किस तरह से आप अपनी ज़िंदगी में जो है वो पेन को, स्ट्रेस को रिलीव करके हेल्दी लाइफ जीने के लिए किस तरह से वापस अपनी ज़िंदगी पे आ सकते हैं। नाज़रीन, अपना ख्याल रखिएगा। अगले हफ्ते आपसे फिर मुलाकात होगी। अस्सलाम वालेकुम।